Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Adrian Garcia ahead of his fight against Daniel Park at LFA 190 on August 23rd. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
No worries. And how has this training camp been for this fight?
It was good. I was begging for a fight, and this opponent came out of nowhere. I agreed right away. It was matched up fairly easy. They were, unsure about the weight, but we agreed to 125, and here we are.
So were you already signed to LFA just waiting for the fight? Or were you just looking for a fight and this they came calling?
No, I'm coming off a 2-year layoff, and I was really looking to fight anywhere. This is just a random opportunity that I came across. If they offer me, to sign with them, I wouldn't mind. So we'll see how it goes.
And like you're saying, you're coming off of a 2-year layoff. What was the reason for that?
A lot, a lot of it was injuries and sickness and a lot of other stuff. But good thing is that I'm healthy. I'm at 100% now, and I'm ready to fight.
That sounds great. And you are, before you come into this, before the layoff, you were on a two fight, I was going to say losing streak, but it wasn't a losing streak because it was a draw and then a defeat. Do you feel like because you've had this 2-year layoff, you've been able to learn from them and you've been able to improve?
Yeah, I don't think anything of them because there were two different fights. The loss, I don't think of it too much of because it was a risk and I was aware of the risk and I did it for the wrong reasons. Anyways, the fight that I just took that I'm coming off of the loss was a split decision loss on like 4 or 3 day no 4 day notice against a tough Mexican. So that one, it's all good.
And how do you prepare for those fights when it is only 3 or 4 days? You get the call, you got the opponent. How do you prepare for those fights?
That's the thing though. As a pro and at this level, you kind of have to always stay ready. Unless you're not serious about it, if your goal is to get to the UFC, you kind of you kind of always have to be ready. So yeah, those 2 years I was not ready. Now I'm ready and here we are.
And do you feel like this is the perfect opportunity to get your name back around the circuit? It's for LFA, big organization, undefeated prospect to get your name back out there.
I don't think it could get any better. I think life just gave me a lemon, and I'm about to make some lemonade.
Exactly. And
Yep.
how do you see this fight playing out? Like, do you feel like he's going to stand and trade with you, get the fight to the ground? How do you think he'll plan out?
I feel people are sleeping on me a little bit, forgetting who I was, and I'm gonna remind them that day. He's a scrappy guy, but I've looked at his fights. The level that he's used to fighting is nowhere near the level I'm at. So you're gonna see, in my opinion, two different levels in that cage that day. So
Because I think you've had around 10 professional fights, whereas he's only had like four. Do you feel
yeah.
like that will help you? Do you think that experience in the ring will help you?
Yeah, of course. But really, he I think he had a pretty extensive amateur career. I look at
Yeah.
every single fight, not amateur fights. I don't look them up and study them, but I count how many fights someone has had in their life. All that's experience. Amateur, not too much, especially if you're just fighting bums. You're not getting any experience. And if you're a pro and you're still fighting bums, I get it, maybe in the beginning, but maybe you fight bums in the beginning to, build your record. And if you're fighting bums and then I'm the test, I think you fucked up. Or
Exactly.
maybe he didn't, mess up. Maybe his coaches think, otherwise of me. So I'm excited to prove them wrong too. So
Well, maybe they just feel he's ready for that next level, but you're just going to prove that he's not there yet.
there you go.
You have been able to get a few titles throughout your career. I know you were able to get, I think it was the Premier Fight League title. How was that?
Little does anyone know, I've never had a title.
I thought you
I've
had.
never had a title. I think there was like a small amateur show that I was supposed to fight for, and then that very night, sitting in the locker room with my hands wrapped, waiting to fight, the opponent was kicked out of the venue, and I was awarded a bullshit title by default. So
Okay, so that's probably what I'm seeing.
yeah, it's probably yeah, fake title. Yeah.
What was the reason that you got kicked out? Do you know?
I don't know. Arguing with the promoter is crazy. Miami's crazy.
Well, I mean, you're able to get that title without even in the ring, so
Yeah, I guess.
And before in your amateur career, you were fighting at a bantamweight. You're now fighting at a flyweight, and you have done for the majority of your professional career. Was there any reason for the switch, or
So I was always a flyweight. Always been a tall 25er, but I'm skinny. I have like a skinny frame. Um, as an amateur, I was really lazy to lose weight. I was big. I was even bigger than I walk around now. I used to be an amateur walking around at 55, 57, fighting at 25. So I got lazy and I said, I don't want to cut weight until I go pro. So I did my last, I think, 3 or 4 fights at 35. And then I went pro and I've been 25 ever since.
and how was it making that change from amateur to pro? Did you feel like that was your record being reset? It's now time to rewrite the story.
Um, Yes and no. I wasn't too worried about the amateur scene too much because I knew the level that I was in and I knew what people were doing. Like I was never saying no to any fights as an amateur. I was fighting anyone. I was an idiot, honestly. I was fighting anybody. I was crazy. So I at least I got the best out of my amateur experience, you know? Some people
Yeah.
rushed it a little bit and now they're gonna fight me as a pro and now they're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen.
And how has this whole experience with Fury been so far? I know this is only your first fight with them. However, how have they treated you up to this point? No, sorry, LFA, sorry.
Oh, so far I haven't really had much interaction with them. I just, signed the contract and they've given me emails. And the only thing that's crazy is that I didn't know this, but California requires 1,000 different things to be able to fight, like as in medicals, which is okay. I got them done already, so we're ready to fight. It was just overwhelming at first.
And is that new from just the extent of the medicals, or
Yeah, it was just more medicals than I'm used to doing. It was just annoying to have to do last minute and like cutting weight and having to, train and
yeah?
fit in your work and make money and then go to the doctor, sucks. But that's part of the
So,
job.
so when do you start your weight cut for a fight?
So the real cut, I would call like the last day, the day before the wins. That's to me, in my opinion, the actual weight cut. But I'll start dieting as far out as 6 to 8 weeks if I have that much time. But like I said, I was looking for a fight. So I was already like 15 or 16 pounds away from the actual weight class. So right now I'm still around the same. I'm like 14, 13 pounds away, keeping it close. So 5 weeks not that hard.
Well, that sounds good. And have you ever, how do you feel about opponents who do come into the fight and they are overweight? Do you feel does that get you under your skin a bit?
Nah, I'm actually happy. I hope he misses weight so I get my 30%.
Because I know some fighters they get annoyed because obviously you sign up for two things. One thing to show up, the other thing to make weight. And it's just you haven't done
I'm
one of
not
the two things.
I'm not the guy to get pissed about weight. As long as you pay me my money, I'm happy. I'm gonna do my job at the end of the day. He's gonna do his job regardless. Some guys they don't care, and those guys piss me off. But it's the guys that, like, yeah, if you miss by a pound or two, like, yeah, you're still gonna have to go cut it within the hour and
Yeah.
suffer, like I. But I'm not gonna be as pissed about it.
'Cause I know there's some people in the UFC just last weekend who missed weight by
Yeah,
like 5 pounds.
yeah. Then at that point, it's like, okay, you're just being a fat ass, and lazy with the weight cut. So then I don't feel too bad because I could have been a fat ass and we could have both agreed on a catch weight.
Yeah. And how has like what's your contract situation with LFA? Is this going to be is it a one fight deal or have you been
So
able to sign a multi fight?
very good question. Look, I have the best management in the planet. Little does everyone know. I have been able to have the opportunity to fight single fight contracts where other people haven't. And I hear complaints, why him? Why him? Why is he gonna do that? Because I bring something to the table. I bring views wherever I go. I'm from Miami and I got people flying out to Cali to watch me fight. Where, as other people can't sell a ticket to their brother to go watch the fight.
Yeah.
So that's something
And
that I got to offer.
and this event is in California. That is where your opponent is from. He is from Cali. Do you feel like you're walking into enemy territory?
I'm definitely getting booed. That I know. I'm walking out to a whole arena and it's gonna be real quiet after I win.
And how do you cope with knowing that you're going in there, you're going to get the boos, you're going to get the shouts?
I don't think as much that I don't think I'm gonna get booed as much as you think. I think it's gonna be, of course, like when they're cheering his name, there's probably gonna be some boos out there. But California is a very Latin, in my opinion, there's a lot of Latin, Hispanic, people out there. So I hope to have them on my side that night. So
We never know, a good performance, you can get them turned over to your side.
that's the thing is about my fights, regardless if you're on my side or not, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have you screaming just because of how exciting I make the fight. I don't know about the other guy, but I make my fights exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And after this fight, as long as all goes well, are you looking to get back into the ring fairly quickly, or are you looking to have a wee bit of a layoff?
If if I'm clean and no injuries, I'll fight. Honestly, I'll fight the next week. If the UFC calls me, if there's a contender series opportunity, if there's a short notice fill in the UFC, I'm ready to go. Well, like I said, I'm just hoping that I come out healthy, no injuries, so I can get back to it fast.
And has there been any discussion around a UFC call up?
There was an opportunity last year that I missed out on because I was injured. I was injured, and I was supposed to fight in Canada for Tuesday Night Contender, or not Tuesday Night Contender, but the Dana White show goes
Yeah,
around looking for. I was supposed to fight for a title in Canada, and I missed out on that opportunity. But here we are, bro. Maybe this is the one.
exactly. You can get a win here, even a stoppage, and that just punches your ticket to the big show.
Exactly, exactly. At least it puts me in line.
Exactly. And how did you get inspired to go into the cage?
How did I get up like getting into fighting?
Yes.
Just like as a kid, I wasn't never like actually fighting. Like I wasn't a bad kid. I grew up in a good neighborhood. I just like to fight. So I would go with my cousin and we would go out to like the hood and fight these kids. And then at the end of the day, we'll be friends. We'll meet up like sometime next week and do it again. And then that was like childhood up until I was like maybe 10, 11. And then I was getting into fights outside of school. But up until like 16, that's when I first joined my first MMA gym and then it took off from there.
And what was your reaction when you found out that instead of going out getting into street fights, you can go into the cage and fight them for money?
That was perfect. Perfect. That's why I'm still doing
And how does your normal week look like to you? Like
it.
how do you?
So look where I'm at right now, just in case you don't want to step out. I'm in my truck. So for about 2 years, I lived in an RV. Where outside of my gym. That's how dedicated I was to this life. Even though I wasn't active as a fighter, this giant thing right here used to be my home. It isn't anymore. It's for storage. But I lived in a giant shuttle bus for 2 years. Um, it was fun. I'm over that. But that's how much dedication I put into this. I'm literally living at the gym most of the time. Um, moving into my apartment at the end of August. So things are looking
And
up.
and do you feel like that puts you apart from the rest? Is that you are that dedicated to the sport? You're willing to live right outside the gym.
Yeah, but not gonna lie, things did change for me in the last 2 years. I slowed down, but I feel like this fight it is a reset, but in a different way. Reset to just how things were going 2 years ago. Just getting back to that.
And obviously, the UFC are is what the dream call up is. Are you looking to just fight in the flyweight division, or would you or is there a chance if a bantamweight opportunity came up, would you grab that?
I'm like I said, I'm a big flyweight, like tall.
Yeah.
I walk around. Normally, I'm dieting right now, but I could walk around easily over 50, 55, 56. I could probably make 162, be comfortable if I gain some muscle. The thing is, if I go up to 35, I don't think I'll be able to come back down. So I'm gonna chill here, get hit with the little guys for a little longer because they don't hit too hard. At 35, we got some big boys. So maybe in the future, when I get some big boy, old man muscle, old man on me, maybe I'll go up. But for now, I have fun at 25.
And is there any 25ers currently in the UFC that you're wanting to make your debut against?
25 is in the UFC. Hmm. There's a couple. There's a couple that I always watch. Like, not that I can remember off the top of my head, but like these fight night guys. I see some guys that are in their fight night, and I'm like, what is this? Where did this bum come from? He looks like a taxi driver fighting out there. So if they could match me up against one of the taxi drivers that are on their fight night cards, that would be amazing.
I mean, you never know on your way to the UFC venue, you might be able to get your taxi driver to get into that cage with you.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
Well, obviously, good luck for your fight. I won't keep you too much longer. I'll give you the final word. Is there anyone you're wanting to shout out?
Yes, shout out to my newest sponsor, Cold Water Athletics. Thank you guys. August 23rd at the Commerce Casino for LFA. Thank you, Scott, for having me.
No worries. Thank you for coming on.